Go ahead, Mark.
My company is called Soma Pharmaceuticals, and the new product that I have is called Sonic Waves. And my logo is the one on the bottom. Is I chose green and blue because blue means trust and green means health. And as a pharmaceutical company, you need people to trust you, and you need your product to make people healthy instead of have adverse effects. This is my mission statement. Soma Pharmaceuticals is a pharmaceutical company that was founded in 1945 by NBC Mark Cheekwem. Soma Pharmaceuticals stands to help the world by making affordable drugs. Soma Pharmaceuticals also wants to make sure everyone has the same opportunity to get the drugs they need. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania is the location of our main corporation. Soma Pharmaceuticals has been making safe and affordable drugs since founded in 1945. We make sure our products are 100% safe before they are distributed. We're here to cure the world.
That's your tagline? We're here to cure the world? Okay.
Our target audience, like we have a wide target audience with our product. It's for people of young age to old. And I'll explain why when I get to the product right now. The product is Sonic Wave. It's a new pen which is here to improve the health of its users. The pen has an oscillator in the middle of the pen, and when turned on, it creates high frequencies. The pen sends high frequencies waves through your hand and gets rid of bubbles between your joints formed by cavitation and keeps them in a gas form. Knuckle crackers have soft tissue damage and reduced function of the fingers. Long-term use of the pen improves mobility in the user's hands. When you hyperextend or extend your fingers, it stretches out your ligaments and that causes bubbles to form, but this pen stops that from happening. And after you do this if you keep cracking your knuckles and making the popping noise after long terms, you get soft tissue damage in your joints and you have limited mobility and you can't really have grip. Your gripping strength reduces, so this pen is supposed to stop that. Our competition are other pen companies, Waterman, Bic, and Mont Blanc. We are better because our pen has a better feel and improves your mobility in your hands, and it's also a better writing utensil than these other companies. These are projected sales, so like that we were projecting the next 5 years. Distribution. Sonic Waves is sold all over the world. In America, it is sold in stores like Walmart, Target, Kmart, and many other retail stores. The price, Sonic Waves is sold for about $19.99 at all retail stores. And this is something we have coming soon because the same thing happens in your shoulders and your neck, and this has the same oscillator that will get rid of these bubbles and have you more mobility in your shoulders and neck and lessen the cause of this makes you your health better, the joints and mobility. Yeah. Okay, this is what I have so far for my ad. What I want to do is have like half of the pen that shows the oscillator.
How do you mean half the pen that shows the
Like cut the pen in half and like in the middle you'll see the oscillator and it'll be vibrating.
This is really nice.
All right, now, is that it?
Well, like in here, right here I put these like little bubbles, and here they like to show like how they go down. The oscillation comes down. Okay. The bubbles are less like a lighter color, so we need to go back to gas fluid and then it's darker. You can have to make that more noticeable.
Okay. Okay. All right. What do you, first let's. All right, Jasmine, can you get the lights for a second? Okay. All right, let's leave the ad on. What do you guys think of this ad? Okay, now, a couple of concerns that I have with it. The layout. I would not do a landscape layout for this. Okay, even though it's something that could be personalized a little less because it's got a practical purpose. So you don't really need to appeal to people's emotions too much to get them to buy this because it's pretty much, you need this, you're going to buy it. It's a very good idea. It's smart. But because it has to do with the body, I would do a portrait layout.
Okay.
Okay? So I would switch the layout around. Now, the pen itself, the one that she's holding, find a different pen. It looks too cheap for what your product does. Okay? Find a pen that's more the Mont Blanc pens. I think they're called Mont Blanc. They're very expensive. Okay? Find one of those. Now, rather than show an illustration, you know, I think it would be a good idea if you had sort of a portrait layout and then maybe had different images of people using the pen in different ways, because right now it would look like just an artistic tool
Yeah.
because of what's being drawn. Okay, so you want to make sure that it's like, someone's just writing, taking notes. And I would show hands of different ages, because right now that hand is just youthful.
Okay.
Okay, so I would show different ethnicities, different ages, because when you show that ethnicity, you are selling to that person. I mean, for the amount of times I've bought something simply because there was a woman who was Asian wearing the clothes, I mean, I would lose count. Okay, and companies are very smart when they do it. They know that, all right? Put this race in these clothes, and that person will buy that.
Yeah.
Okay, so make sure that you take that in consideration. And I would do you guys remember the show Brady Bunch? Okay, it's a cheesy show. It's like one of the cheesy shows, but when they had the split screen of the square? Oh, it's a cheesy show. I got you on camera right now saying that's a good show. Okay, when they had the screens of the 6 squares, or what it was, 8 squares or something? If you did something like that and maybe had like 6, or maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then in the center or something had the medical illustration of it. The medical part of it's really well done. Okay. Now the type you've used, sonic waves. I thought we're curing the world. I thought it was we're here to cure the world.
Yeah, I forgot to change that.
Okay. Now take out the we're. Just here to cure the world. Okay. It's more affirmative. All right. And that tagline needs to be in there. Do not use that type. Whenever you have this cursive type, okay, it slows the eye down. All right. We have this thing in our point perception. When you're driving, say you're leaving home from work, okay, and you're tired, all right, and you have 2 routes to take. You can take the highway home, or you can take the side roads home. The chances of you getting into an accident on the highway are higher, because you will fall asleep more likely when the eye is seeing the same thing over and over again. You'll nod off at the wheel. If you take the side roads and you have a stop sign, and the eye's constantly having to be awake because things are changing, or some kid runs across and the ball comes across, you are forced to wake up then. You will likely not fall asleep. So maybe it may take you 20 minutes longer to get home, but you'll get home safer. All right? Point perception, okay? In textbooks, back in the day, when they would do the print for textbooks, they would have a serif on them. A serif is like a little triangular piece that's at the edge of type, right? They found that when students were reading those books, they were falling asleep because it's too much for the eye to digest. The eye is actually reading all those points, okay? When they changed the type and reprinted the textbooks without a serif, students were falling asleep, unless you're on your bed reading, or unless you're really falling asleep less likely than with the old type. So a lot of books were reprinted. So with this type, especially with something with technology that you want it to be believable and trustworthy, don't pick something that looks handwritten. Okay. Take the person out of it, okay? You want it to look technical, mechanical, and no serif. Okay, just clean lines. Serif, like where that says Matisse Picasso, that doesn't have a serif. Times Roman has a serif. Okay? If you want your professors to fall asleep while they're reading your essay, use Times Roman. If you don't want them to fall asleep while you're writing your essay, use the type like Optimar Garamond. Okay, it's just a trick. All right? Okay, so you can look up sans serif type. Sans is French for without. It just means without serif. Sans serif type is the type you'd want to use when you want something to be more. But if you want something like a wedding invitation, you want people to really absorb the information that you're getting married, then you use that cursive fancy type. Because it's sort of like a way of bragging and prolonging the announcement because people will take longer to read it. So it depends, and sometimes a serif works. Okay? All right, any ideas or suggestions for Mark? What do you guys think? Would you buy this pen?
Yeah, but like you said, he should use an older. I wish he used an old person's hand, not like scary like.
Yeah.
But like an older hand. Cause I feel like old people will buy this product, like people in their 30s, like 30s.
30s is old?
Well, not old.
All right, so
like,
Jamila F. No.
That's when stuff started going wrong.
30?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to throw myself over a bridge then. Okay. No, what my concern is, yes. Yes, Shannon.
I got 2 questions.
Okay.
One, is it battery operated or like how does it work? Like,
It's a battery operated.
battery operated. And 2, like does it repair like the bubbles like you said that you?
When you stretch your arm, like your fingers, it turns these bubbles. It makes the gas in your fluid turn into bubbles, but it just stops them from occurring.
Yeah,
So if
but
you
like a person like me, like I've been doing that all my life. Like does it like stop it from having like does it like cure like you know what I mean? Because I mean honestly I think like I have addiction to it. Like I'll just sit here and just do it. Like does it stop a person from doing it or?
Does it cure what's already there?
If you don't have those bubbles, you can't do it. So yeah, it will actually stop you from doing it if you keep using it because it won't make those bubbles perform.
Okay.
And if you already have those bubbles?
like.
Tough?
Yeah, because like after you crack your knuckles, it takes 30 minutes to be able to crack them again. But that's when you use the pen, it keeps doing that over and over. So like you can't crack your knuckles when you're using the pen.
Okay. All right. What about the price? I think it's a little too cheap, yeah. I think it should be more money.
She's like $20.
Yeah. And then, you could target to a higher demographic. When people don't want to break the bank, but when it's a little bit more expensive, they tend to believe it, especially for the age group that's going to need it. Or going to be at the age where they're going to think about it. I mean, someone would benefit from using it at a young age, right? But they're probably not thinking that far ahead. Okay? All right, good. Any other questions? Suggestions? Camera's rolling. Anything you want to say?
Oh, what type of battery? You said it's gonna use a battery. It's gonna be like those expensive little pea-sized batteries. It's gonna be a Duracell battery. What?
So I haven't thought about that yet.
It's a good question.
The pea-sized batteries, they cost a lot. Not a lot, but they're more expensive than a Duracell.
You probably would want the more expensive battery, though,
Yeah.
for something like this.
Like, it has to be small to be able to fit into the pen, because if not, the pen would be too big. Or the oscillator has to be able to fit in there.
Like, or you can make it rechargeable.
Oh yeah, that's.
And then it would cost more. Definitely cost more. And then you would sell it somewhere like at Best Buy.
Yeah, so
Perhaps not some of this, yeah. Okay, all right, good, thank you. Let's give him a round of applause.